Okay, so it is God, what is today? Tuesday? It's hard for me to keep track. Yeah, it's Tuesday, November 14th. It's already the 14th? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, it's 10:13 in the morning, and I just got home from work not long ago. I ate myself a little something. Uh, I've had a crazy weekend. It's I'm not even getting into it now. But I got this from Amazon, and it is Wonder Woman's invisible jet from the Superpowers toy line. Now, remember when I opened the Whirly Bat over there, and I was talking about the box art and how I wasn't too impressed with the box art because it looked to me like they just took a picture of the thing and ran it through a filter that made it look like a drawing. And in addition to that, Batman wasn't even sitting in the thing. Like, if they'd made a Superpowers Whirly Bat back in the 80s, you can bet there would have been a figure of Batman sitting in that Whirly Bat cockpit. Well, they did an even worse job with the invisible jet. Because, for one thing, the invisible jet is, it's invisible. So, and they did a really good job making it look invisible on the box. Like, if you look for it, it's there. But I would imagine somebody just kind of, glancing through things at Walmart is just going to see a blank box and not know what that is. Look, if I hold it back here, just imagine you're looking at it on the shelf. You can barely even make out there's anything on there, right? So I think it would have behooved them to make a more comic book style of a drawing. Like, actually draw the thing and draw Wonder Woman sitting in the cockpit. Like, Wonder Woman should have been on this box somewhere. I mean, the only place you have actually Wonder Woman on the box is on the back with the pictures of the vehicle, and it shows the figure sitting in there. But, like, maybe put a drawing of Wonder Woman off to the side if you don't want to actually draw a new drawing of Wonder Woman sitting in the cockpit. I'm sure that you could get something out of the old Jose Luis Garcia Lopez style guide and slap her on there and make it look like she's, maybe jumping out of the cockpit or running up to it or something, anything to get Wonder Woman onto this box. Like, she should have been on here. That's a selling point. It's Wonder Woman's vehicle. And if you're like me, you wanted one of these like back in the 80s. Like, you know how much I love Wonder Woman. She's one of my favorite characters. I like my first childhood crush I can remember is Linda Carter on the old television show Wonder Woman. And so I had like the Mego doll. It wasn't an action figure, it was a fashion doll. It was supposed to be like Barbie. So I gotta admit, it was a doll. It ain't the sort of thing where you can even argue that point. So but yeah, and when I had the original Superpowers figure, which I loved that figure an awful lot. I thought it was a great figure, and I wish that she could have had an invisible jet, because that would have been so cool. I mean, Batman had the Batmobile and the Batcopter, and Superman had his Supermobile. I think that honestly, the invisible jet's probably more important than the Supermobile if we're talking about characters' vehicles. But but yeah, I'm a little disappointed in the presentation on the box. There's what the top looks like, and again, it's just kind of that vague outline in white, and it just kind of, again, if you were to see that on the shelf, like from across the room, you don't know what that is. So yeah, that's what that side looks like. That's what that side looks like. There's the bottom of the box, and we've already seen the back here. The invisible jet, Wonder Woman's jet, l'avion de Wonder Woman, jet de Wonder Woman. So I'm surprised it doesn't say Mujer Maravilla on there, like she's oftentimes called in Spanish-speaking countries. I guess that they wound up defaulting back to Wonder Woman in those Spanish-speaking countries, but I liked that she had a Spanish name. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll slice the tape there. We can go ahead and get this out. So yeah, I got this off of Amazon. I got a really good deal on it. I wasn't planning on buying it this week, but I saw one for like, almost half price. Not quite half price, but pretty close to it. And I couldn't resist it. I needed to get it for the good price. Yep, I'm live right now, Aunt June. Hello. I just got home from work not long ago, and I wasn't really tired yet, so I figured I'd go ahead and get this out of the way. So there's the wings. They're kind of in the side here, so we're just going to pull those out. That one got kind of stuck in there a little bit. Come on, you. There we go. So there's what the wing looks like separate. And I already set the other one aside, but it looked just like this one, but in reverse. And then there seems to be like some kind of plastic wrapping over the body of the jet. So it's taped into place. I'm going to get my X-Acto knife again, and we'll cut through that tape. There we go. And then we can pull the plastic wrapping off, and there is the body of the vehicle. So something I'm missing. It's the tail fin. And I didn't notice it because, you know, it's clear plastic in clear plastic. But there's the tail fin. There's what that looks like separately. And let's go ahead and we'll have a closer look at the body of the vehicle while we've got it out. So as we can see, the entire body of the vehicle is molded in clear, translucent plastic. It has a canopy that opens. Like with the Batwing in the Supermobile, you actually press on a little button in the front that opens it up, and it is a button that is shaped like Wonder Woman's emblem, which I did not notice until I actually got the thing out of the box that it had that on there, because again, it's all that clear plastic. So it very, very nicely done here. The shape of it reminds me a lot of what it looked like on the Linda Carter television series. So that's nice. I got to imagine that they probably would have taken some influence from the Linda Carter television series as far as making an invisible jet, if they'd actually done one back in the 80s. The one thing that isn't invisible is you can see the winch mechanism in there, which even that they made mostly out of clear plastic, but you can see the yellow rope that attaches to it, and the axle and the spring mechanism and all that kind of stuff. So we'll look into that a little bit more. There's what the capture claw looks like, and it's got a little Wonder Woman emblem sculpted into it. So then the remaining assembly is to put the wings in. Now, one thing that I did think they should what I'm thinking they should have done, what I would have liked to have had, is there's really no landing gear on this thing, but it looks like it should just set flat on the ground because of the capture claw, and it has like this little tiny peg here that I suppose is supposed to aid in the stability of it if you put it on your shelf. But still, it would have been nice to have, like, some little wheels that folded out. Maybe they figured that would interfere a little too much with the invisible look of the plane, or maybe they figured that would cost a little too much money. I'm leaning towards, yeah, hello again. It looked like you dropped out or something, but I guess you're back now. So that's my Aunt June. Everybody, say hi to my Aunt June if you can. So because I know more than one person is watching. There's a lot of good detail to this that's kind of hard for me to show off on camera just because of the nature of it. But look, even the controls, it's shaped like the Wonder Woman emblem. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't turn. It's just kind of fixed in there regularly. It does look like it maybe has like what could be some screens or something sculpted in here, but everything's invisible. So how does she read her gauges anyway? Like I kind of figure like some versions of it, especially more modern versions of it, depict the interior as not being invisible. Like she can see all of the inside of her cockpit while she's inside of it, but just the plane is invisible from the outside. But of course, in the original comics, it was always supposed to be like, it wasn't. I don't believe in the original Golden Age comics. I don't think it was supposed to be actually completely invisible. I think it was just supposed to be like a transparent plane, like what you see here, and it would be invisible because, like, from a distance, you would just see like the clear sky. It wouldn't look like anything. So think about like Predator or something like that. Like whenever Predator would turn invisible, and it's just the light kind of bending around him. But Alex Ross, when he depicted the invisible jet, he just would show a door opening up in the side of it and her stepping out of it, and he didn't actually paint the invisible jet. It literally was invisible. but but yeah, so I guess the kid just needs to use his or her, girls like superheroes too, especially Wonder Woman. But the child would need to use their imagination and just pretend a lot of the stuff, I guess. So it does have the jet exhaust in the background. Now, originally it was in the Golden Age again. It was an invisible plane, not necessarily an invisible jet because jets didn't exist yet. It had a propeller and everything. It wasn't until jets became a more common thing that it became the invisible jet. So, and like I said, to me, the shape of it is very much like it's closer to the Golden Age version in terms of like the general shape of it. And you can see it's kind of squat and it's a smaller type of vehicle, much like the Batwing. She is a Wonder Woman. Yeah, definitely. So love that show. But yeah, so I have the Mcfarlane Wonder Woman superpowers figure. Unfortunately, I don't have the original vintage superpowers figure handy. I would like to put her in the jet and see how she looks in that because I do still have one somewhere, I think. But unfortunately, she's packed away. But I've got the modern figure, so she'll fit in there just fine. So let's go ahead and pop the cockpit, and we'll put her in there. And it does kind of pinch in her legs a little bit when you go to try to put her in there. And I don't think that her rear end, there we go, got it in the seat. And once you got her properly seated in there, honestly, the controls, they're a little too far up for her to actually reach. But again, your kids are just going to have to use their imagination when they play with it. There's the canopy closed. So that's what Wonder Woman looks like in her invisible jet. Now, as far as the special feature goes, oh, hey, that's neat. So we'll get into that in a second. Oh, don't pop out. So as far as the special feature goes, in the tradition of the 80s superpowers toys, she has a capture claw. Oops, the tail fin fell out. I noticed it was kind of loose, but I don't think I got it in all the way. Make sure I got it in all the way. But I don't want to take a chance on breaking it, so that's why I was probably a little too ginger with it. So you can pull the whole capture claw loose like that, and then it opens up, and it does have kind of a ratcheting to it, so that'll help hold our villain. And I only have handy with me Deathstroke, so he's going to be our villain and our victim as far as that goes. So the other villains released in this line, I don't have the Batman Who Laughs because I kind of hate that character, and I don't have handy the Darkseid figure. I think he's over there on my shelf with some of my other stuff. So a lot of the other superpowers figures. So I don't really like that Darkseid figure either. But I love this Deathstroke. Deathstroke is one of my favorites that has been put out in this line so far. He's definitely my favorite villain that I've gotten so far. So let's go ahead and clamp that capture claw around him. There we go. And he's been captured by Wonder Woman. So she's gonna haul him all up. A little bit of fuzz got on my tail wing there. So all right, so she's gonna haul him up, and oh, he fell out, and then he fell to his death and died. So yeah, the winch on this thing is ridiculously powerful. Like when it snapped up before, it kind of like hit my finger and it hurt. So if you got kids, tell them to be careful with this thing. It is. She is not messing around with that thing. So I would say, just don't try to winch up your bad guys once they're captured. Just leave them on there and let him hang all the way to the jail when she goes to drop him off. He's kind of a scumbag anyway, so he deserves every bit of punishment that he gets. We don't like Deathstroke. He's a bad guy. So, I mean, I love the character. I enjoy reading about the character, but he's the villain. I don't like him. So, and he's a pretty scuzzy villain for anybody who's familiar with the comic. Yeah, if you read the Judas Contract, yeah, he's not a good dude at all. So yeah. So I would definitely recommend this one. I'm gonna hold on to the because I know this thing's just gonna snap right up there. So I'm gonna hold on to it while I tighten up the winch and then snap that back into place. Oh, I accidentally pressed the canopy button and it popped open. So yeah, uh, I definitely recommend this, and I recommend this even for people who like, if you turn your nose up at these new McFarlane Superpowers figures, if you're just all about the vintage Superpowers figures, you don't like that they don't have the power actions, you don't like the newer sculpts, all you want to do is collect the vintage figures. This, much like the Batwing, I feel like is still a good vehicle to have in your collection and would fit in just fine with your vintage Superpowers toys, I think. So this definitely gets a recommend, especially if you can find it for like almost half price, like I found on Amazon. That was a crazy good deal. So I had to get her. I had to get her and make sure that I had this. So I've been looking forward to this one for a while, and I'd seen the Invisible Jet for sale on Amazon like months ago, and I passed on it because I didn't really have the money for it at the time. And then it sold out, and I was worried I wouldn't get another chance to get it. And then they got them back in stock. And then again, I just haven't had really much money to spend on stuff like that. But when I saw one that was that cheap, I knew I had to buy it. I couldn't resist. And if I missed out on it that time, I would only have myself to blame. So there we go. Wonder Woman's Visible Jet definitely gets a recommend from me. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Uh, I'm gonna try to go to sleep now. I just ate something and I wasn't really that tired, and I figured I'll go ahead and shoot a video, and then maybe I'll feel like going to sleep. But I've got to be at work at 9 o'clock, so 9 o'clock at night. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time to sleep, so I'm gonna try to get what sleep I can. And this weekend's been so crazy, I literally missed an entire night of sleep because my truck broke down, and I got it fixed now. It's fine. It's fine now, so don't worry about it. My mom helped me out a lot with that. So shout out to her. She watches this. You don't know how much I appreciate you, mom. like like I couldn't have done it without you. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Uh, that's the end of this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a Batman episode today because, like I said, I'm going to probably spend most of the day sleeping. But if I get a chance, I might do another Batman episode. We've got Blind as a Bat coming up, so that's one of our Penguin episodes. And guess that's it for this time. We'll talk to you next time. Bye. What a day. Yeah, I said end it. Why aren't you ending it? Here we go.